What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged Review, and this is a review for WWE Monday Night Raw for March 4th, 19. And I will say, getting this close to WrestleMania, really close to the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, I would expect a lot more from WWE. I was not really invested in this show that much at all. And to get into it, you have Roman Reigns. He comes out. You kind of do what you know they're going to do, which is he's going to want to bring the Shield back one more time. The rumor is Dean Ambrose is leaving. Okay, fine. Seth Rollins comes out. He's hesitant because of what Dean Ambrose has done. And he says, finally, for you, Roman, yeah, I'll do it. They call out Dean Ambrose. He comes out. Elias comes from behind, smashes him with a guitar. And so you never get an answer from Dean. So that's your open. Kind of what you expected. It was alright. Nothing took my breath away. Charlie interviews McIntyre, Lashley, and Corbin. Lashley and Corbin, no personality, I'm sorry. They really do not come across as stars to me. They're very fucking boring. So naturally, that leads into Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, which was not as good as the last time they did it, which wasn't that good to begin with. And it set the tone for a who gives a shit Raw. Corbin, McIntyre, and Lashley win, and that's all I'm going to give that time for. One thing I'll point out here is this is a tag team match. And the referee at one point clearly sees Lio Rush tripping up one of the other guys. It's not triple threat. It's not tornado. It's just a tag team match. So that should have been an automatic disqualification. But because WWE doesn't pay attention to their own rules, they will never give you suspension of disbelief. So I like to point out these key mistakes that WWE make that make their product shit. So, Charlie interviews Heavy Machinery. It was god-awful. You had a clip of some of the other tag teams making fun of Otis. And he says they hurt his feelings. Okay, don't care. Natalya versus Ruby Riott came after that. It was okay. Not even a very good match, to be very honest. There was nothing that stood out in this. Natalya won. Lacey Evans music hits. She does her go down the ramp and come back up stupid ass shticks they've been doing for weeks. I don't care about it. Bad. Just bad. Triple H promo after that. This was a good promo. Of course, Triple H is one of the better promo workers in the business now. A little awkward because he's talking about Ric Flair, the person, Richard Flair, and, bringing some very personal moments into this, which set the stage for kind of the reasoning behind the feud between Triple H and what Batista did. So, he sold it well. It is what it is. Charlie interviews Stephanie McMahon. Backstage after that, Stephanie says that the winner of Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair is going to be the new Raw Women's Champion, even though they're both on SmackDown. Kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. And it'll make even less sense here by the end of the show. So we'll wait for that. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose have a bit where Dean Ambrose is busy with other things, essentially. He's not all for joining back up with the band. Then you get Heavy Machinery versus the B-Team squash match. Heavy Machinery win. Heavy Machinery versus the Ascension. Heavy Machinery win. And Heavy Machinery versus Hawkins and Ryder. Heavy Machinery win. Didn't care about any of this. It did nothing for anybody. It squashed 6 guys and did nothing for Heavy Machinery. Not a damn thing, because you automatically knew that they were going to go over every one of these teams. It was stupid. You get the Torrie Wilson Hall of Fame announcement. I was never that big a fan of Torrie Wilson. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I don't know. So far, this show has been bad to me. Just terrible. You get a Charlotte Flair interview. She's going to beat Becky Lynch. After that, you get a Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose bit, and it's kind of the same thing as with Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins is talking about joining the band back together. Dean Ambrose is like, I can't do that right now. Then you get Elias versus Dean Ambrose. So, naturally, with all this build, everything that's happening, Elias goes clean over Dean Ambrose. That was a stupid fucking booking decision. I don't care how you go about it. That was a stupid fucking booking decision. To build up all this stuff with the Shield and then have Elias go clean over Dean Ambrose. You should have had Ambrose go over Elias, A, to make him look strong, but B, to have a reason for the other guys to come out and jump him. Just makes sense. I did not like the bid at all. Of course, you're going to have a bunch of people come down and jump him anyway. Lashley, McIntyre, Corbin, they all come down. They're all beating up on Ambrose. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins come down. They start fighting, and Dean Ambrose starts walking up into the crowd, kind of fights it, comes back down, helps clear the ring, and then they do the Shield thing that they do, and a horrible build up to that. Just horrible. Like, the match itself, it was stupid. I'm sorry. This is why WWE has the lowest ratings they've ever had. Shit like this. Then you get Tamina versus Sasha Banks. Tamina's not that great a wrestler anymore. I'm sorry. She has a hard time now, and I get it. I'm not dogging her. You know, she's in her 40s, I think, so God bless her for still being in there. But, you know, it just doesn't make for a great match. Tamina goes over Sasha Banks. That's that. You get a backstage Aleister Black Ricochet interview. They have a title match coming up against the Revival. Leads into the match. And decent match for what it was. Pretty good match overall. The Revival win by DQ because Bobby Roode and Chad Gable attack the Revival. And then they go and try to attack Ricochet and Aleister Black. Doesn't really work out to their best advantage. And there you go. Then you just get this... I don't know, dude. WWE with this whole Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey thing has just lost their fucking minds. Like, they've lost all sense of reality with this. So, after everything that's happened, Stephanie McMahon's in the ring with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, and they're going to do the signing for Fastlane. Ronda Rousey comes out, says, I laid my title down, I didn't give it up. So they just give their belt back to Ronda Rousey, and now Becky and Charlotte, you know, it's not a Raw Women's Tag Championship match. And it essentially is, if Becky loses, she's out of the picture. And if she wins, she's added to the triple threat at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's belt. No cohesive storytelling at all. It just, everything fell flat. Looks like Ronda Rousey is turning heel. Okay, that's fine. But everything that they've tried to do has just not worked out. It's been ridiculous at best, and again, this is why WWE is losing ratings. Because they overdo to the nth degree some storylines, and then just throw shit together like the Shield. Like, none of the Shield bit made sense today, really. And really, nothing that they're doing with Becky Lynch at this point makes much sense. Like, they're just going back and forth like they have no idea. Like, there's 20 writers and they're all filling in 30 seconds of a promo. It didn't work at all. So, honestly, this show was just really bad. It really was. There were a couple of highlights. And that was it. Other than that, I was not invested. I didn't care about what was happening. I didn't care about who was in the ring for the most part. There were times I did. But it was just a very, very bad show overall. So I'm going to give it a 1 out of 10, and I don't know that it deserves that. That's where I'm going with it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my review for Monday Night Raw 3/4/19. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know I'm being hard, but I think they deserve it. You're on the road to WrestleMania, and we're getting this shit. So let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this, or if you agree, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwoods. Kaged Nation, out.